to talk about Bitcoin. So we're going to hop straight into it. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But Bitcoin right now currently is at 111.2K. That's 0.8% up in the last 24 hours. In the last 30 days, down 3%. So, we kind of been sideways moving for like the last month here, like up and down, really just sideways at this point. But currently, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to break out. So we are going to talk about this analysis here. But before we do that, let's talk about these two articles here. So this one says Bitcoin traders warn of 12% monthly drop as Solana leads major gains. So traders say the combination of macro uncertainty, fragile sentiment, and thinning volumes leaves little room for error heading into what has historically been the toughest month on the calendar. And this is actually true. September is always bearish. That's why we're seeing everything going down pretty much, including stocks. So they say Bitcoin has historically struggled in September with the largest token by market capitalization declining in 9 of the last 14 years. The total crypto market capitalization has dropped to 3.74 trillion, a 3-week low as Bitcoin opened the week near 110K. Traders are cautious due to macro uncertainty and thinning volumes, with technical indicators potentially pointing to further decline in Bitcoin prices. So that's what a lot of people are predicting here, and I think that they might be correct because September is always bearish, and we are seeing the pullback. So we've also seen this though, and this is kind of what makes me kind of want to walk back that statement, because even though we're hugely bearish in September, you see this. Now, me personally, before I even go over this, I do think we're going to continue to pull back a little bit, but I think there's going to be bull traps, bear traps, multiple bull traps and bear traps in September. And I think this is one of the bull traps. Look at how it's acting like it's trying to pass 112K. And yes, I said acting, it's pretending, because if we see a quote unquote pump, it's going to be similar to this right here, where we seen the MACD go bullish and we thought we were going to take off. We thought we were going to break out over 123K right here. We thought we were going to break out because the MACD was switching to the bullish sentiment. And even the percent R trend exhaustion started to show that we were going towards the uptrend here. And then boom, everything just crashed on us again. So the same thing could be happening here, where we see that the MACD is looking like it wants to switch to the bullish buying pressure. But what if it's short-lived like this, and then the percent R trend exhaustion does the same thing, where it just boom crashes on us, and then this just boom crashes on us as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. But anyways, this is interesting. It says Bitcoin ETFs see $332 million in inflows, ending Ethereum ETF flow dominance. Now, $330 million is nothing to Bitcoin. $332 million, that's nothing to Bitcoin at all. So I don't think this has any sort of pressure on Bitcoin. It does look a little bit bad for ETH, I guess, because in altcoins, because now Bitcoin is more dominant again. If you look up here, Bitcoin dominance is at 56.5%, which is still not that bad. We were at 56%, but we only went up 0.5%, so it's not too bad. Anyways, Bitcoin ETFs saw 332.7 million in net inflows on Tuesday, while Ether ETFs reported 135 million in net outflows. So people took out of their Ethereum ETFs and then put them into Bitcoin pretty much. And the point of ETFs is to put them there and like put the money there and just forget about it. Just not even pay attention to it. Just let it go up and down and let it, grow over time. That's the point of an ETF. So I don't know why they just keep taking money in and out. Like, why don't you just put the money in ETH? But I know they're investing other people's money. So they're taking it in and out for the other people, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, this comes after Ethereum's ETFs outperformed Bitcoin in August, as analysts pointed to a rotational shift towards Ethereum. One analyst suggested that institutional investors are rebalancing their portfolios toward Bitcoin while keeping a bullish outlook on Ethereum. Pretty interesting. We are going into altcoin season, so I don't know why they would be switching into Bitcoin at this point of the market. But hey, they know more than me. Now, this is the daily chart. We kind of already broke down the analysis for the daily chart. Again, we just now broke out of this channel here. And with breaking out of this channel right now, we are currently trying to break past this resistance at 112K. If we get rejected at 112K, we are going down to 104K. We have not yet touched that 104K support there at the Fibonacci. I do believe we're going to end up touching it very soon. This is the daily chart. If we look at the weekly chart, this is what I keep referring to every single time people are like, "Hey, what's about to happen? You know, is everything good? You know, is Bitcoin going to take off?" Like, this is what I like to refer to. And pretty much what we're looking at here is the weekly chart. The weekly chart is pretty much bearish. Let's be completely honest. Anyone who looks at this weekly chart is looking at it like, okay, it's either way overbought and it's gonna stay way overbought for a long time, or we are just very, very bearish. So it's bearish for this month. So yes, the month is bearish. September is bearish. As we can see here with the percent R trend exhaustion, looks exactly the same as what's happening now. And look at what happened. It had a big pullback, big pullback. And I've been talking about this. I've been telling people, hey, we're probably gonna pull back 32%, and I'm gonna show you exactly why 32%, or you can even say 30%. It really doesn't matter. But look, the same exact thing happened back here inside on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. The same exact thing happened as what's happening now, and it happened multiple times. So when we look at the percent R trend exhaustion, we can see that the uptrend was just over exhausted, too much buying, and it just eventually died down. What are we seeing now? The uptrend completely over exhausted, and now it's dying down. So as it pulls back, it's probably going to end up pulling back and leveling out at that same level, and then we'll continue up from there. Or it might not even be at the same level. Maybe it stops halfway and then keeps going. That's where I get the 104K support. If it goes all the way down, we got 99K support to support us. If it goes halfway down, we have 104K support to support us, and that is at that Fibonacci. So we have two Fibonacci's that we are now watching out for. We are watching out for this Fibonacci right here, which is 104K, 105. And then we got this, which is 99K. And if you want to, just make it look nicer, 105K and 100K. That's pretty much what we're watching out for. But I like to say 99K and 104K because we know if we see 99K, then you better prepare for the worst, right? If you see 104K, you still got some potential to the upside. Now, there's a reason why I switched to the Coinbase chart, and that is because I have these two areas here. The last drop when we had the last drop when we had the exact same thing that's happening now, you could see that was a 32% drop. Now we're kind of doing the same thing that we did before. So will it also be a 32% drop? If this one was also a 32% drop, we would go down to 86K. But I'm willing to bet that we go halfway down and just stop at 99K because we have some strong support at 99K. We have this area. We had support there previously. So if we drop down and we stop 99K, if not, we come down here to about 85K. And that is where we had our the same 32% drop. So, if we break 99K, look out for 85K. If we don't, we're going up. Even if we do break 99K and go to 85K, this all might be a bear trap, and then it might take off from there heading towards 150 like we've been talking about. But anyways, the weekly chart is super bearish. Weekly chart is bearish. Bearish here. We're going to see these pullbacks. If you don't think so, let me know in the comments. But I do believe we're going to have these pullbacks. All right. 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, selling pressure is coming in. The percent R trend exhaustion here, still on the uptrend, but we are seeing that selling pressure, so be careful. 1-hour chart. 1-hour chart is overbought and also looking bearish. So yeah, the 1-hour chart is overbought up here on the trend R percent R trend exhaustion, and it's overbought and it is looking bearish, like it wants to go back down to the downside. That's why I keep saying 104K is still looking like the play. So yeah, you gotta watch out for that. And then the 30-minute chart, slightly bullish, but this is such a short-term chart. Look, if the 30-minute chart cannot push us past 113K, like 114 up here, if we can't pass this Fibonacci at 114K with the 30-minute chart, showing that it's slightly bullish, then I don't know. We're just screwed, because you could even see the MACD on the 30-minute chart is also trying to recover as well. You can see some green candlesticks coming in. So yeah. But yeah, hey, I'll keep you all updated, because this is definitely looking like it's gonna pull back. But I feel like we are currently in a bull trap, right? Let me go back over to the 4-hour. See how we recovered like that? That is because I believe we are inside of a bull trap currently. Like this right here, all this recovery. Actually, let's go back to my main Bitcoin. Like, yeah, I like this one a lot more. But anyways, because I got a lot of drawings on it. Anyways, if we come up here to this resistance, right, we are looking at a nasty pullback if we get rejected. So if that happens, we are then looking towards 104K. So get ready. Hopefully we keep running from here, but I really do think that it is very, very good for us to pull back, because for one, weak hands are going to get shaken out, which isn't good, because, you know, some of those weak hands are good people. You know, we don't want them losing their life savings, but they're weak hands, you know. But when it does pull back, the strong hands that are still holding it, you guys are worthy of those gains. All right. This is pretty much all I got for you all today. Hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, I'll be back with another video.